So, Chris, I want to now talk about you stepping on that stage. Scott Evans, right? Who seems to be a pretty cool guy. I got a chance to meet him. Down to earth. You know, he's around all these Hollywood people. He's just a great guy, and he seems to make everyone feel comfortable. So, what was going through your minds? Right? Scott calls you out on the stage. He's going to count you down. Now it's live. Cameras are rolling. America's watching. What was that like?
I was so laser focused. He could have been dancing on his head, you know, for all I cared. But they prepared you for everything. You know, they had someone acting as Scott and said, all right, this is how it's going to go down. So I felt like, all right, Scott's on the stage now. We've done this 3 or 4 times. Awesome. I just was so laser focused. I was so excited to go. And that's really, it was go time. It was go time.
So now in your mind, you're reading a teleprompter, you memorized it, a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I memorized it because there are times in my pitch when they had me moving around. And there were times when I had to take my eyes off of the teleprompter to make sure that I was pointing in the right direction of the models who were doing the demonstrations. So like when I walk stage left and the model's up on the ladder, I made sure that I hit my mark on the stage and that I was able to, you know, turn slightly. So there were a few times when I had to take my eyes off, but then I quickly got back to the teleprompter. But I did have my pitch down for the most part, even though the night before the show, they made a last minute change to my script. But I went back to my room, I practiced it in the morning. I woke up, had breakfast, I practiced it, and then we got one more on stage practice.
Yeah, welcome to the world of TV. It's like hurry up and wait.
Great.
And oh yeah, we're gonna make a change. All right, so now you're finished, right?
Oh my God, it was just like, woof!
But the best part, the best is yet to come. You finish, right? I'm sure you can see you're relieved, and then Joy gives you all these compliments for your service and stands up and starts clapping, and the entire audience stands up and gives you a standing ovation. What was that like?
I had to keep back tears.
Yeah,
because it was hard. It was, you know, I felt like she was talking to me and every first responder that was down at the World Trade Center. You know, I felt like at that moment I was representing New York City firefighters, New York City police, all New York City first responders that responded to the World Trade Center, because it wasn't just me down there that day and for the months afterwards. It was our team. Everyone was a team. We were a unit. And so I felt honored to be representing such an amazing group of people, human beings.
Because you did an amazing job. It was an honor for me to be in the audience. You know, this whole story is incredible. Now your product is incredible, and you've given back so much to the community. So I think all of us feel that way about you. I felt, given that standing ovation, I did. I felt like what a blessing that was. It was pretty cool experience. So for anybody out there listening, Chris's product is Track Belt with a K, right? TRAK belt 360.com.
Yes.
And then the show, America's Big Deal, we'll have more guests on our show, including Joy. I think Carmine is getting the works of doing some things with Joy Mangano, one of the producers of the show. It's on USA Network Thursday nights. Matter of fact, tonight at 9 p.m. live on the USA Network Eastern time. I think they show it again on the West Coast following that. So absolutely, I love the show. I love your story, Chris. Really cool stuff, and really, I know I speak for Carmine. Appreciate everything you do for the community. People are lucky to have you by your side.
Yeah, 100%, Chris. I gotta tell you, man, you did great on the show. I might have lost it. I do podcasts, but I've never done a live show on stage like that. And I got to say, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was interesting, you know, backstage, seeing how people were responding to things that weren't planned for, you know. So it was really interesting to see people just figuring it out. I mean, I felt like I was backstage and watching a bunch of first responders. They were just figuring it out on the fly.
Wow.
And everyone together was like one solid team, and they knew exactly what they needed to do. And if they didn't know, they figured it out. It was quite an experience.
Cool.
All right.
Very cool.
All right, cool. Again, Chris, thanks for everything you do, and great showing. I'd say everyone go out there and watch it. Go to USA Network, and episode 4. Chris is the last pitch on that episode.
Hey,
And boy, what an ending.
if I could add one more thing, I have fallen in love with the show, being backstage and being in the audience. The following week after I was on stage, I got invited as a guest from my good friend Lisa Farmer with the Trapdoor Colander, and I got to sit in the audience, and it was so cool to watch her and watch her kill it and do a great job after her phobias of traveling. But then just this past week, December 2nd, I sat in the audience and I brought my Inventors Club from New York City, and the inventors, they loved it. And they all could be future contestants. They've all got products, but it's been so great that this show opened up the doors to me and my Inventors Club. And we're taking a second group back for the last episode on December 16th. So I've fallen in love with everyone at the show, on the front end, on the back end. And every time I go back, I feel like it's a reunion, and I feel so loved. But I actually enjoy being there, being in that building. It's just an experience, and just
Very
wanted
cool.
to share that.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, he's like a regular at that show now, Chris. It's crazy.
You want to go, Carmine? I'm flying this time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Next year we'll try to get out there. I think the show's great. I've seen every episode from the first episode. Bought a couple of products. Obviously, bought one of Chris's belts. It's awesome. It's here in the office. But I tell you, Chris, and I know we're gonna get going soon. A lot of the products are pretty cool. I mean, I must say, it's so great to have a show that puts real life products out into the public view, and to show that inventors aren't kooky, quacky people, right? And you're allowed to say you're an inventor these days.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with saying an inventor. There are some people out there that say, inventor is affiliated with wacky people that hide in their houses and have pocket pen holders and glasses and all wacky ideas. But no, it's great to be an American inventor. There's nothing wrong with calling yourself an inventor. It's a real word.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no doubt at all. So Chris, the great part is we're going to have these shows coming up. We got a bunch of shows. We got the PGA show coming up, and then in early February we're going to have you want to call it a workshop, or is it kind of an event, or what do you think we're going to call it?
Yeah, it's probably going to be an event. I mean, I think we're going to help people, steer them in the right direction. And I want to say, I'm going to call it an investment, return on your investment.
Yeah.
It'll be a small fee, but you're going to save so much money by not doing it incorrectly. I mean, how many stories have we already heard about people throwing money in directions that they shouldn't be before they're not ready, and they don't get it back? It's like, it's like me in labor. When you're in manufacturing, when you mess up on labor, you never see that back. It's gone. It's like, so same thing here. If you're going to put your money, we're going to teach you how to spend it the right way, right? To maximize your return. As I always say, maximize if you can make it in the USA. I've eliminated all those costs personally, so I don't have to deal with anything being stuck abroad, or I'm not paying extra fees or expediting fees. I'm not paying for trucking and warehousing. I'm doing it all in the one building. So we're going to teach them how to do it the right way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As Lisa Farmer would say, you're teaching them how to spend it wisely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I could just touch on that topic, and I definitely want to come back on the topic of inventor rescue, because we're doing a lot of inventor rescue to try to help inventors who have ideas save their money and figure out how to validate the product and do the right research for free or inexpensive, because there's so many companies out there and individuals that are taking advantage of inventors, and they know it, and they know who they are, and they don't care. So this is something that I've become so passionate about, really helping inventors save their money, because a lot of them come into this industry and they have no idea, right? There's so many things that they don't know. They do that product search initially, product idea or invention idea, and we know that what the first few pages that come up are not so good companies.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that I know we're going to be collaborating on coming up in the future, but I would love to be back on with an update on Inventor Rescue.
Yeah,
Inventor
100%.
Rescue, inventorrescue.com. Sorry, Carmine.
No, that's great. I was just going to ask you to get the domain on. What I love about this, I know we got a few minutes left, is that you've already helped several inventors.
Absolutely.
So I'm building the testimonial. I'm slowly building out the website, adding information to it. But one of the pages that I'm working on right now, it's basically, I have an idea, now what? And I'm putting together sort of this whole checklist, and I want to make it downloadable so someone can print it out, and it'll give them a step-by-step process on what they need to do to first validate their idea. You know, there's a lot of coaching organizations or companies that say they help you with licensing. And you know what? You may decide to go with one of these companies down the road, but first take our program for free. I've been there, I've done it. I've got a whole network of inventors who've manufactured, who've licensed, and now we figured out a way to help someone validate their product without paying whatever, you know, some of these companies charge $3,000, $3,500, $4,000.
Yeah. Right.
It's the wrong way to go.
I agree. You know, and Chris G, what's great about, and Chris Landano, what's great about what you're doing and people are talking about is we are inventors. We actually do what we're not getting training to teach people how to do it. Like we've done this, and continue to do it. So
I think on Shark Tank, I said I'd probably have launched in my career over thousands of products.
Yeah.
In corporate America, right? And I've hundreds now in my own business, but I've been doing this. I mean, I decided I wanted to be an engineer when I was 13, right? And I kept true to that my entire life. I love designing, development, you know, and watching something being born from an idea onto a retail shelf. And so for me, you know, how can you train? How can you coach? How can you advise if you have never done it? I just don't. I can't understand that. So I've had the benefits of being a hands-on engineer right up to a CEO of a company, and I've worked at people like Ford Motor Company, one of the largest patent in the world, and BMW. Can't get any more technical than a BMW automobile and how it's done in a lean Six Sigma environment, right? You've had the opportunity, Carmine, to hear the people I've worked with.
Yep.
Talk about it, right? And talk about my influence to that group, and I'm still connected. So I say, how can you teach that if you've never done it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible.
Yep.
Right? It's just not possible.
100%.
So
unless
that'll be some of the things we teach people.
Unless you're being coached by someone more senior to you, who's teaching you how to coach. I'm sorry, but if you're going to be a coach, you're going to coach a little league baseball or basketball team, you should have at least played the sport or understand the sport. And the same thing with
but then you're not really a coach, right? Then you're an assistant coach, right? To coach even Little League. I mean, I've done it. I've coached Little League. I've coached Pop Warner. I mean, we had state championships, right? This is like serious stuff at age 12, right up through 16. Like you're not a coach then if you can't deliver the goods. You're an assistant coach. You're somebody that's still learning. You're not really the coach. That's why all these coaches from Clemson and all they get paid big money. The assistant coach doesn't get paid the big bucks. The coach does because he's orchestrating the entire program. So it's the same thing. I just like, okay, so if you're going to coach me, you've never coached, then what's your value worth to me? Zero.
Yeah.
You're going to learn from my mistakes by coaching me incorrectly.
Right.
I don't know.
And the sad part in this industry, and it's not all coaches in the invention industry, but the sad part is that some of these coaches are coaching, and the inventors, the students, they have no idea that these coaches, you know, haven't been there, haven't done it.
I mean, how do you talk about getting on Shark Tank if you never got on Shark Tank? You don't know what goes on prior
Exactly.
to getting on Shark Tank.
Yeah,
How do you talk
yeah.
about getting on Good Morning America if you've never got on Good Morning America?
Yep.
Like all of that's just hot air because
Mhm.
you've never done it. So
Yep.
you don't know what's going to happen. You know the steps in between. So
Yeah. That's
that
why
to me is that's criminal.
yeah, that's
in my
why
mind,
we
because you're not
we
really
always
talking
we
the
always
truth.
recommend ask your coach, how many products have you taken to market?
Yeah. Right. It's so easy. It's so easy to write a book, but how about vetting some information here?
Yeah.
Totally
No,
agree.
but you hear all the stories about, hey, you can make 6 figures. Okay, sure.
Yeah,
But
and
what
I can
makes
make a cake too.
That's what I mean. But in reality, let's be realistic. Here's what it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
To launch a product.
Yep.
Here's what it's gonna take to license a product. I mean, these are like, don't mislead people by giving them these big hopes and dreams. It's small and few in between.
Yeah.
You know, the percentages are against you. So you want to do it right. You want to make sure you maximize your cash flow. You want to make sure you maximize your efficiencies and your steps to getting to market and working with people that are trustworthy, right? People who have done it, right? Everyone needs a mentor. So find the right one with somebody who's done it and they know how to do it.
Correct.
And that's I think a good place to close. That'll lead us into our event, our workshop, where we're
Yep.
going to help people and teach them how to do it correctly.
100%, man. No doubt about it. Well, Chris, Mr. Landano, thank you so much for coming on today. We were very, very not only impressed, but proud of your product, your career, your story, everything you've done. Thank you so much for coming on. And all you listeners out there, please go out to Google Play, iTunes, wherever you consume your podcast content. Make sure you subscribe, leave us a review rating. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know how you're doing. Also going out to YouTube, Launch Network, and you can watch these videos and see what we're doing, who we're making fun of, what's happening. I'd love to hear from you either way. So for myself, Chris Landano, Mr. Christopher Guerrero, thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time on Made in America. You all take care.
Guys. Happy holidays.